Barbara Fiala is the Broome County Executive. She joins us from Binghamton. County Executive, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So now that the dust has settled a little bit, what is the latest? I mean, what we're hearing is there will in fact be another hearing, an EPA hearing on hydrofracking, but sometime next month, and we don't know when.
No, we have not heard directly from DEC or any of the organizers of the event, but we are, even without that, I'm having conversations with our arena manager, forum manager, Broome security, so that if this should come, that it would be in Broome, and I certainly have no problem with that. You know, it's a natural for it to be in Binghamton. There's a lot of conversation, a lot of concern about the industry coming in here, that we will be prepared. The only thing that I do ask is that, you know, they do allow us a time. As far as the BU event was concerned, up until Monday, we felt that they were going to host this event at Binghamton University.
So do you have any idea what was behind this dispute that happened between the EPA and the university? Because there was an increase of the cost, a considerable increase of the cost. Then it was abruptly moved to Syracuse, which upset people. But do you have any feeling, have you spoken at all to Binghamton University about what really was behind this? Because I know there are a lot of unanswered questions.
Certainly is a lot of unanswered questions. I have not had a conversation with Binghamton University, but I have talked to individuals and my administration that had communications with the promoters or the organizers of this event. And that's where it seemed to be the breakdown. You know, I have a real problem with the EPA trying to push the responsibility for it being withdrawn on either Broome County or Binghamton University. Certainly the cost of renting BU is one figure in our arena, runs around $4,000, but that's the basic cost of the facility itself. You have to take into consideration, if you're having 5,000 to 8,000 people in the center of your community, there's going to be additional costs. Security. Security should be the utmost importance. It takes logistics. It takes meeting to come up with a plan. That never happened. And I really feel, I'm concerned that EPA, if they can't get this together, how are they going to really get this study right? And $39,000 might have seemed to be a lot of money, but when you're talking about a multi-million-dollar study, it doesn't seem that large. To us, to have it in Broome County, I don't know the total cost. You would have to take additional police. You work with the city of Binghamton. You have to even think of things, you know, additional electricity for speakers, any type of equipment that's going to come through. Even porta-johns. You have to consider,
Of course. No, of course. These are all important points that you're making. I'm just curious, though, why none of this came up earlier. I mean, it seemed that this was going along fine until the very last moment when all of these roadblocks started coming up. And certainly, you know, if you expect 8,000 people, then you want to have some place for them to go to the bathroom. That makes a lot of sense. You want to make sure your streets are safe.
It certainly does.
However, why is it that we're just hearing this now? It seems that maybe somebody should have been thinking about this beforehand.
And you're absolutely right. And I think those that were organizing the event, what my understanding is that more and more publicity had been put out regarding the event, that more information was gathered, that at first 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 people signed up to speak at the event. That's a number in itself. That's something that I think can be handled relatively easy. Certainly security would be involved, but not to the extent. But when you're talking about 5,000 to 8,000 people, that suddenly changed the dynamics of the event. And so additional concerns, and that's what happened in Syracuse. I think the question is, did the EPA tell the full story when they went to book BU? Certainly, we have not had that type of communications with them. And that's the same thing when Syracuse said they would have it. After all the information came forward, and certainly it becomes a logistics concern, that's when Syracuse pulled out. And
Okay.
actually, I think by Syracuse pulling out, they validated BU's concerns.
Okay, but where do you have any idea where 8,000 people going to come from? I mean, I understand that there have been national hearings on this topic. It is, of course, an issue of concern in a number of states, not just in New York. And I know that everywhere from New York City up through the Marcellus Shale, all over the place, people are very interested in this. However, 8,000 people? Seems
That's
like a
the
lot.
figures, you know, the media. That's a lot. That's the figures that the media has been put out, where their source of information is. I can't say that, but you know, in other communities that they have had this, they haven't had that many people. Well, in Texas, they have drilling, and so I think this is such a hot topic in our region, the Southern Tier region, that the interest is very peaked.